A few days ago, one of the pro members shared this website in the Discord asking how the effect was done. I checked it out and honestly, it's really well executed. When you move your cursor over the scene, the 3D elements react with these dynamic light and shadow shifts that just feel so polished. I really wanted to take a crack at it myself, so last weekend, I sat down and put together my own version. I wasn't able to replicate it exactly. Their implementation is definitely more involved, but I tried to capture the same visual concept using Three.js and some custom shader work. Essentially, what's going on behind the scenes is the mouse position drives a spotlight that modifies the surface material in real time, switching it from a flat matte finish to something glossy and reflective wherever the cursor lands. In this video, I'll walk you through the entire setup step by step, from loading the 3D model to injecting custom shaders into Three.js's built-in material so you can build this effect from scratch. If you'd like to grab the source code for this project, along with hundreds of other similar micro projects and a brand new website template every month, you can check out the pro membership via the link in the description. And if you find this helpful, a like on the video really goes a long way, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you don't miss the next one. Alright, let's get into the code. Before we get into the code, let's quickly talk about the assets. You are going to need a 3D model for the spotlight to interact with. It can be anything really, a statue, a bust, whatever you like. For this project, I grabbed a free model in GLP format and dropped it into the public directory. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to use the same one. And that's all you need, just the one model. Alright, let's get into the HTML. We'll start with a really simple markup, just a single section element with a class of spotlight. This is going to act as our container for the entire Three.js scene, and the canvas will get appended directly into this. Now let's move on and style it up. First of all, we'll reset the default margins, padding, and set box sizing to border box, just the usual reset. Then for our spotlight container, we'll make it take up the full width and height of the viewport and give it a warm neutral background color. And finally for the canvas element, we'll set it to display block, just to get rid of that annoying inline gap that shows up by default. Alright, now let's get into the fun part, the shaders. Now these are the shader chunks that power the whole spotlight effect, and I actually had Claude write these for me. I just described what I wanted and it generated them. If you are not familiar with shaders, they are basically small programs that run on the GPU and control how each pixel on a surface gets rendered. In our case, we are using them to change the material properties wherever the mouse is hovering. We have got 4 chunks here that will inject into Three.js's built-in material later on. On the vertex side, all we are doing is calculating the world position of each vertex and passing it along to the fragment shader through a varying. The reason we need world space is so we can accurately measure how far each point on the surface is from our mouse. On the fragment side, we are pulling in a few uniforms, the hit point, which is basically where the mouse is, an active flag to fade the effect in and out, and then a radius and softness value to control how big the circle is and how soft its edges are. From there, it's pretty straightforward. We measure the distance from each fragment to the hit point, run it through a smooth step to get that nice soft circular fall off, and use the result as a mask. That mask that blends between the default rough matte finish and a much glossier darker look. So you get this really satisfying trivial effect that follows the cursor around. Alright, let's jump into the main script and start building out the scene. First of all, we'll import everything we need. Three.js is our core library, the GLTF loader to load our 3D model, room environment, which gives us a nice neutral studio lighting setup without having to create lights manually, and then those 4 shader chunks we just wrote. Next, we'll grab a reference to our spotlight container and set up the 3 essentials for any Three.js project: a scene, a camera, and a renderer. For the camera, we are going with a perspective camera at a 45-degree field of view, and the aspect ratio is based on the container's dimensions. For the renderer, we are enabling anti-aliasing to keep those edges nice and smooth. Then we'll configure the renderer. We set its size to match our container, kept the pixel ratio at 2 so it doesn't go overboard on high DPI screens, and set the clear color to that same warm neutral we used in CSS. We are also enabling ACES filmic tone mapping and bringing the exposure down a bit. This gives the whole scene a more cinematic, subdued look, which really helps the spotlight effect pop later on. And finally, we append the canvas into our container. Now for the lighting, instead of manually placing lights around the scene, we'll be using Three.js's PMREM generator along with room environment to generate a pre-filtered environment map. This basically wraps the model in soft, even studio lighting, and it's what makes the glossy areas actually have something to reflect when our spotlight reveals them. Once the texture is generated, we dispose the generator since we don't need it anymore. Next, we'll set up all the variables we are going to need. The config object holds our spotlight radius, its softness for the fall off, and a lerp value which controls how smoothly the spotlight follows the mouse. We have got a shaders array that will push each patched shader into later so we can update their uniforms every frame. Then we set up two vector trees for the hit point. Hit uniform is the current position that gets lerped, and target is where the mouse is actually pointing. Notice they both start way off screen at 500, so the effect isn't visible on load. We also set up a mouse vector, a raycaster, and here is an important one, a plane. Instead of raycasting against the model itself, we are going to cast against a flat plane facing the camera at z equals 0. This keeps things simple and consistent. And then a couple of flags. Active uniform is the smoothed value that fades the effect, and active is the raw boolean for whether the mouse is inside the container. Now we load the model. Once it's loaded, the first thing we do is center it. We calculate its bounding box, find the center, and subtract that from the model's position so it sits right at the origin. Then we figure out how far back the camera needs to be. We take the largest dimension of the model, divide it by the tangent of half the field of view, which gives us the exact distance where the model fills the frame, and then we push the camera back a bit further with that multiplier so there is some breathing room. This is where all it comes together. We traverse every node in the model, skip anything that's not a mesh, and set the base roughness nice and high so it looks matte by default. I also used an online 3D model editor. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to check it out. Then comes the key part, on before compile. This lets us intercept Three.js's built-in shader right before it compiles and inject our own code into it. We pass in our uniforms, the hit point, active state, radius, and softness. Then we patch the vertex shader by inserting our varying declaration and the world position calculation at the right spots. Same thing on the fragment side, we inject our uniform declarations and the actual spotlight logic that handles the distance check, the smooth step, fall off, and the roughness and color blending. And finally, we push each patched shader into our array so we can update those uniforms every frame in the animation loop. We also flag the material for an update so Three.js knows to recompile it. And then we simply add the model to the scene. At this point, the model is loaded, centered, and its materials are patched with our custom shaders. So it's ready to go. Now we need to track the mouse. On mouse move, we grab the container's mounting rect and convert the mouse coordinates into normalized device coordinates. That's the -1 to 1 range that Three.js expects for raycasting. And we set active to true so the effect knows to show up. On mouse leave, we just flip active to false, which will smoothly fade the spotlight out. Here is our animation loop where everything comes alive. Every frame we set the raycaster from the mouse position and cast it against that flat plane we defined earlier, not the model, just the plane. Wherever it hits, we copy that point into our target, then we lerp hit uniform toward the target, which is what gives the spotlight that smooth, trailing motion instead of snapping directly to the cursor. Same idea with the active uniform. It gradually eases toward 1 or 0 depending on whether the mouse is inside the container, so the effect fades in and out naturally. Then we loop through every shader we collected earlier and push the updated hit point and active value into their uniforms. And finally, we render the scene. And lastly, just a standard resize handler. We update the camera's aspect ratio, recalculate the projection metrics, and resize the render to match. Nothing fancy, but you always want this in there. And that's it, a really clean spotlight reveal effect using nothing but a patched standard material and a bit of shader magic. You can experiment with the radius, softness, and lerp values in the config to get a completely different feel. Hope you found the video helpful. See you in the next one.